They pulled out their little Gideon pocket Bible, out of their back pocket, and they came up to us, those little Secret Service Christians. I want to. That's the problem. We're Secret Service. We're not real about our faith and understand that everything we do should be exalting Jesus Christ and letting people know that He's real.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the NEA. Now, I was recently at the NEA, too, in this last convention, and just to let you know how vitriol they are, they actually said as part of their program, now we're staying neutral on the issue of gay marriage. However, we want every state association and every organization to know that they should expend all of their energies and resources to fight bans on homosexual marriages in your state. So they were talking out of both sides of their mouth in the same statement. In the same statement, they were saying that. Also, while I was there, this isn't necessarily a same-sex issue, but they had a pro-life protest outside. And I went out there, and some of the signs were really great. One of them said, a saved child is a teacher's job. Another one said, 25 saved babies is a classroom. I thought, hey, that's good stuff. Yeah. This one girl was holding up one of those signs, and I walked out there to her, and I looked like this, and she probably thought I was one of them. I had the little convention badge and, all that stuff. I said, no, I'm not against it. I think this is great, good for you. I'm so glad you're here. Praise God. Here comes this teacher, waddles over like this, and she sits there and says, I've got a classroom full of unwanted babies. Oh, that poor girl was in shock. And I was too, but just like, my mouth just works better in my brain, and I came right out and said, you know what? And I bet with you as their teacher, they still feel unwanted.
Oh, my.
That's the NEA. And the NEA literally goes after teachers who don't support their agenda. And it is really bad. But I will tell you this. Their attorney, after 40 years of being there, he was giving his retirement speech, his last hurrah at this convention. 11,000 people in the convention hall. 11,000 people. And here's what he said in San Diego. He said this. He says, our enemy are Christians. Our enemy is the religious right. That's hate speech.
Yeah.
But he got away with it. And did the press report that? No. Listen. The Gay, Lesbian, Straight Educators Network. Mr. Jennings, what's his first name? Kevin Jennings. Kevin Jennings, which you heard about last night, was the guy who was a school counselor and teacher, and a young man came to him, talked about his gayness, and that he was dating, this 15-year-old was dating an older man. Now, not only, that's called statutory rape, and it's also called pedestry. It's not pedophilia, but it's pedastry, one of those things. And but he never reported it because he actually, what he did, bottom line, was he encouraged it, and he does encourage it. The man, and I know the man is really in his 40s. He looks like he's in his late 60s, and I think I know why. Probably because, he's not long for this world. So, but he is now part of the Obama administration. He is the safe school czar, one of the ever-growing czars. They proliferate like rabbits in this administration. So that's what he's doing. The Gay, Lesbian, Straight Educators Network is promoting homosexuality in the schools, and they're doing this also by putting this in every piece of the curriculum. I also attended a caucus at the NEA for the Gay, Straight, Bisexual, Transgender, Intersex Alliance of the NEA. Did you get all of that? You got gay, lesbian, bi, you got bisexual, and I call it trisexual. Try anything. So they were there talking about how we had to get every piece of education and make sure that it too was homosexual affirming. So I guess that means instead of apples and oranges in a math problem, we have now the 2 boyfriends and the 3 girlfriends who are together. That's probably how we're going to do it. I don't know, but that was part of their theme there. So now with the NEA, let me go back to that because this is a great segue. Well, we filed suit with the NEA, as I told you, because they wouldn't let us exhibit. Well, we got the results back, and we lost to the NEA because they used, this is terrific, they used the right of affiliation, and what they meant, that's the same thing that the Boy Scouts used in barring homosexual scoutmasters in their organization, and that's where they won. So the NEA used the same tactic that the Boy Scouts used. And so they said that the judge said that the NEA was right in not letting us exhibit. Now, in the process of filing our complaint, we also had to file a complaint with the Division on Human Rights in Washington, D.C., because that's where they denied us the ability to exhibit in their convention. Because every 4 years during a presidential convention, that's where the NEA goes. Okay, and that's a smart tactic. So they wouldn't let us do. So we went to the Division on Civil Rights and said we were discriminated against as ex-gays. You know what they said to us? They said, well, you're not a protected class, so we can't do anything about that. We said, okay. Then we were discriminated against because we were heterosexual. Well, that's ridiculous. Nobody discriminates because you're heterosexual. So we were denied our right to complain to the Division on Human Rights because we were heterosexual and because we were ex-gay. So we didn't matter at all. That was also written in our complaint. Well, the judge comes back in the same sentence where he denies us, says that the NEA was right to deny us the ability to exhibit. Says, however, the Division on Human Rights erred in their decision not to recognize PFOCs and people who identify as ex-gay because sexuality is mutable. Therefore, ex-gays are now, should be a protected class under the law in the District of Columbia. So we kept our mouth shut for 60 days because the NEA has the right to, either party has the right to appeal the decision in 60 days. On day 61, we released our press release. Yeah, we lost with the NEA, but by golly, we are now a protected class in some jurisdictions, somewhere on the planet. Ex-gays are a recognized protected class. I want you to know that the homosexual activists in Washington, D.C. are having strokes. They're wetting their pants. They're falling over backwards. They can't stand it. They're having fits. They even, it's called the city paper. Where are they? Where are the ex-gays? Call me if you see one. Now, who's going to call that woman? Hi, my name's Greg Quinlan. You probably have seen me before. You know, talk to Wayne. He's got me all over his webpage. You know, I mean, no, nobody's going to put ourselves up to that kind of venom and that kind of vitriol, but we do exist. Land Illegal Defense, that's a legal organization that is there, and they're constantly looking for reasons to sue somebody for the rights of homosexuals. The American Psychological Association, another gay APA. Then there's the PTA. And here's what it says: join today, many faces, one vision. The PTA also denied us the ability to exhibit. However, they do allow PFLAG, Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, the antithesis to PFOCs, to exhibit at their convention. Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's what I said. American Library Association, another enemy of the family. You wouldn't think so. And the American Association of School Libraries, a division of the American Library Association. Here's what they do, and they work close hand in hand with the NEA. They develop the policies about what goes into public libraries and what goes into the public schools. Let me give you an example. Now, this is individual to each library. Most people have some sort of sense of decency, and they certainly understand what it means not to expose children to information that most of us would deem harmful to minors. But that isn't the case everywhere. Let me give you an example. In Medina, Ohio, some of you may remember several years ago, there was The Advocate, which is probably the premier gay magazine. Used to be, I don't know if it still is or not. But they had a cover story where they had Jesus depicted, the crucified Jesus depicted there with a gay man loving on him. And that was put on the magazine rack at the bottom where a toddler could see it. So parents complained. The library refused to remove it. And this went on and on and on. We come to find out that same library was letting teenagers look at what any of us would consider pornography, including books on human sexuality that affirm homosexuality. That's the American Library Association. Because one of their statements, see if I got it, oh, that's the wrong, oops, back, I'll get to that one in a minute. One of the statements of the American Library Association is, though, any information at any time available to anyone regardless of age. That is their policy. Stated clear. That's what they teach librarians to do. You heard me talk about Teen Pep twice? This is Teen Pep. And I use New Jersey as an example because that's where I'm at right now, but this is happening everywhere. In Teen Pep, there are 17 units, teeny tiny, and some of them are big units, some are small units. The homophobia unit is a pretty big one. There's also negotiation skills. Negotiation skills. Teaching you how to negotiate sex. Well, if she won't go all the way, well, then maybe I can get her to do oral sex. Did you know the highest rate of cancer among women under the age of 30 is now throat cancer. You know where it comes from? The HPV virus. The human papillomavirus is causing throat cancers in men and women. It's there, and we're not teaching kids about this stuff. Anyway, that's the list of the schools that Teen Pep is in right now. Teens teaching teens how to have sex. The Boston Alliance of the Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, Transgender Youth. But but what we're doing here is we're affirming kids in experimentation for homosexuality. And we're encouraging, and they're being encouraged at every level to express themselves sexually. And all of this is anti-Christian. I want you to know this. One of the things that we've got to get Christianity out of the picture, or homosexuality cannot thrive.
Say that again.
We have to get Christianity out of the picture, or homosexuality cannot thrive. Because if you get Christianity, Judaism, if you get the Judeo-Christian ethic out of government, out of our laws, which is saturated, by the way, into our laws, and they all know that, that's what's holding them back from fully expressing everyone's sexuality, which is having sex with children anytime, all the time. Trinity Metropolitan Community Church. Saved by grace, not by exodus. No, you ain't. Time Magazine, 2005, the battle over gay teens. Again, the mainstream press pushing the gay agenda, affirming gay teens, affirming that you're born that way, giving the impression to the general public at large and to our young people that it's okay to be gay. I am gay, and this is where I play. And that crossing the lines there, that's also Pride TV is the one. This was a TV show on Pride